Now, the original Scirocco blew into town some 11 years ago. It was named after a hot, dusty wind from the Sahara. Based on Rabbit mechanicals, it was a good poor man's sports car. But over the years, the wind died down and cooled off as VW's competition got stronger with high technology. Now, this new version of the Scirocco has some technology of its own in the form of a double overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder engine. So the wind is picking up again. But does that mean it will leave the competition in the dust?
Could be, since the wind-named Scirocco has a new surname now, 16V. And while it may have the same body as all other Sciroccos since '82, it does get slightly more aggressive trimmings. They include flared wheel arches, now combined with a ground effects package that extends from front spoiler to rear apron. The hatch glass spoiler also sports a fresh shape, and above it is a new swept-back radio antenna. And the 14-inch wheels now have teardrop openings and larger 185 by 60 tires. That's mostly what there is to say about the exterior, except that it's available only in black, red, or silver. But inside, under the hood, sits a quad-valve 1.8-liter Ford that now develops an amazing 123 horsepower and 120 pound-feet of torque. The whole engine isn't new, though. The 16-valve shares its cylinder block with the regular 8-valve engine, so it's the cylinder head that makes the power. Like other 4-valve per cylinder designs we've seen, it increases the engine's volumetric efficiency, and that translates as more power. So this Scirocco is the fastest Volkswagen yet sold in the United States. It's even faster from 0 to 60 than a Porsche 944. The Scirocco does it in 8.5 seconds. The quarter-mile time moves it to the head of the sports coupe class, at least the non-turbo contingent. Our car went through the quarter mile in a fast 16.5 seconds with a terminal speed of 84. But not all the results here are accelerating. We found the shifter kind of rubbery. Strange for a Volkswagen. Maybe, comparing it to the good front drive shifters other manufacturers make these days, the Scirocco's is feeling old. But while we're on the subject of subjectivity, the engine's throttle response is a delight. It makes plenty of power and gives you the sense it could rev the needle right off the tachometer if the limiter didn't stop it first. As for stopping the 16V, there's an improvement here too. This Scirocco gets disc brakes to replace the rear drums and larger ones for the front. Halts are straight and averaged a short 110 feet in 6 tries. Impressive, and 5% shorter than the last Scirocco we tested. Handling's more on target too. The spring, shocks, and anti-sway bars have all been revised here. Likewise, the power steering. The steering has a much lighter feel than before, and we think a little too light for a car with a high-performance purpose. It goes totally numb above 60 miles per hour. Thankfully, it still responds sharply to driver commands. Maybe that's because there's less body roll and front-end plow in this Scirocco, thanks to those other suspension modifications. But we did note more of a tendency for the car's rear end to come around, something that could be a problem for inexperienced drivers. Like the exterior, the interior of the Scirocco hasn't changed much in 4 years. Space, especially headroom, is still in short supply. And the seats are still typically Volkswagen firm, but very supportive, with adjustments for height. The outside mirrors are now electric with integral heaters. In the back, it's the same old 2+2 story. Room for children and pets, and that's about it. But lest we forget, this is a hatchback. The folding rear seat gives you enough cargo carrying capability for virtually any wants of driver and passenger. However, the driver will want more from the dash. While its sharply sloping shape still looks much like the latest from Lotus, it is showing its age. Yes, there's good ventilation and modern pod-mounted controls for lights and rear defogger. But Volkswagen still can't seem to find a good location for the oil pressure gauge. It's still down over on the console, so you still can't see it at a glance. As for the head-on gauges, the temperature readout is lost in the speedometer, and there's no voltage meter. So all told, instrument design doesn't seem to match the 16V's Get You There Yesterday persona. The 16-valve will get you there today with an EPA estimated 23 miles per gallon city, 28 highway. We got a fine 27 in our 100-mile mixed driving loop. And on the highway, we recorded an interior sound level of 71 decibels, a little loud, probably because of the added 16-valve mechanical clatter. But that's a small price to pay for performance. You pay a higher price for the overall car. Base cost is $12,980. With typical options, the car could set you back $15,000. We did like the 16 valves engine and its performance, though. Improved brakes and handling also made our list of hits. And considering the Scirocco's level of performance, we think fuel mileage is excellent. On the miss side, the Scirocco 16V suffers from not enough clear information from the instruments, nor from the low-effort steering. And a high price means its hot performance can be beaten by American V8 muscle machines for thousands less. But to be fair, no front-drive car in the Scirocco's class can do totally what the 16V does. We love the engine and can't wait to see what it does when it's dropped into the GTI. We do know that a totally redesigned Scirocco with four-wheel drive is on the way. So this is really only the first blow in making VW again a serious threat in the performance coupe market. But already this revised hot win can leave much of its opposition with stinging red faces.